So here's a quick example of how to use the controller configuration tool. You go to properties, settings, you always reset to default before you calibrate. Start from the beginning, use the left stick first. And as you can see, when it started, it registers the corners. So you've got to move it around a little bit so it gets used to the dead zones. Straight up, straight down, to the right, to the left. And I like to do to the corners as well. Once you've done this, go next. And these are your two triggers. Right trigger first, left trigger second. Always click display raw data before you go into the last couple of steps. So I mentioned that you get 5 zones. You get the starting position, which is 50 to 51. You get the middle zone, which is 30 to 25, and then you get the end zone, which is 0, and vice versa. It's 75 and 100. So the further you go along the settings slider, the more pressure you've got to put on the controller. When you start in the middle, you only need to touch it very gently, and as you can see, it goes from 48 to 52. This is your mechanism dead zone. No matter what controller you've got, it'll have one of these. Sometimes they're set at 51 because they're brand new, like I explained in the Discord. The newer, the more rigid, and the older, the more used, the more flexible they are, and the more precise you can be. So I'm barely touching the controller from left to right with my thumb. It's moving like a millimeter, and if I let go, it'll stay at whatever it's at, no problem. Whereas you get out to this zone, this neutral zone, you go to the middle section, which is probably at the point where if you press any further, you're going to increase the speed and go faster, which I prefer. So the first part of my stick, I like to have nice and slow. And as I get to the middle, build it up faster, and as I get to the end, go really fast. If you let go, it goes back to the middle automatically. So you don't want that. You want to just freehand it all the way, and then freehand it all the way back. So start slow, build it up, and go fast. And then some kind of similar return speed. So slow, middle, fast, fast, middle, slow. Slow, middle, fast, fast, middle, slow. This is a good beginner setting to have. So if you're new to the controller configuration tool and you don't really know what your favorite speed is, just practice, keep messing around, try lots of different things out. You can start from the middle and just go straight into fast, and this will basically give you, when you're turning left or right and your stick reaches this point, it'll be automatically full speed because you've started from neutral position and gone full speed all the way. So if you want it more slow, you go slow all the way across to the end and all the way across back to the middle. So any point when your stick's being pressed and it's in the neutral point, the middle point, or the end point, it'll always travel at the same speed, which I find is okay, but a lot of people like to have some slow speeds and some fast speeds so that you can do different things while you're in game. And one of you recently asked me, how can you get faster turning speed while keeping the aim good? Well, basically what you want to do is find a setting that you like in game, and then you want to go slow, increase the speed, and then at whatever point you enjoy. For example, I like it to be in the middle, around 30. If I press the stick over this mark, it'll speed up drastically based on what I've calibrated the controller to be the drop-off point, or whatever I've calibrated the speed at. So whatever speed you calibrate like this is basically determine your in-game speed, but also at the point which you do it also determines the drop-off point on your stick dead zone. So if I want to make the fast speed after 40, as soon as I reach 40, instantly go to the fastest speed possible. If I want to go all the way to the end and then go to fast speeds, you do it then, and in game you'll have a nice steady speed all the way up until 20, and then you'll drop off and go really fast. But you need to figure out what you prefer. It's the same for the right side as well, because this is the whole left to right horizontal movement. When you go to the end setting, it's the vertical, which is up and down. And basically you want to try and keep both calibrations close as possible, because if you don't, you'll find that you have a difference in sensitivity setting for the up, down and left, right. For example, if my horizontal movement was really fast and then my vertical movement was really slow, in game, as soon as I start moving the stick diagonally or up or down, it slows you down completely. So you'll have a super fast movement speed left and right, but then it'll sort of hit a brick wall and go really slow for the rest of the ups and downs, which isn't good. You want them as close as possible. So if I was to do this slow all the way, I'd then have to do this one slow all the way up and all the way down. If you want them to have different speeds, you need to pick a point. For instance, middle's pretty good for everybody to be the drop-off point. Shh. Sorry about that. So basically, the middle point's where you want to accelerate. So whatever you decide your starting speed to be, the middle point's the acceleration and the deceleration point. It takes a lot of practice and you get used to it after a while, and you've got to freehand it all the way. But it's worth it in the end if you get it right. You've got to also make sure that you do it in one movement. If you do like this and stop and start and stop and start and stop and start, the calibration tool doesn't know what speed you want and which parts of the stick are going to be the drop off point for the increase or the decrease in speed. So often if you go really slow like this and then have a stop and then go really slow again and then stop and really slow again, it doesn't calibrate correctly because it's 3 separate calibrations in one movement. You want to try and do it fluidly like this, as fluid as possible. The moment you stop moving your stick, it registers that that's a point at which you've stopped moving or you've dropped off, and then it doesn't quite understand that it's not a stop, it's a continuation, and it calibrates the speed based on the stopping point. So for example, it picks up the movement across from right to left, but then if you stop, in its mind it takes longer to reach the end. So for some reason it slows your movement speed down quite a lot. So try and do it as fluid as possible, all the way there, all the way back. So if you do this and you have the fast point there, it registers that point as being the fastest point. So as soon as your stick hits that mark and you push it further, your character will have a really increase in speed. So keep practicing, try a lot of different settings. Personally, I like it with 49 in the middle, and then average speed all the way, and then a little increase near the end just in case. Hopefully this has helped explain my Discord post and give you a better idea on how to use the calibration tool. If you need anything else, just let me know.